Alright, Pretender here, back with another Honkai Star Out guide. And I'm late with this, but we did have the Apocalyptic Shadow reset, as we do now have Gusty Primate. And so today I'm going to be rapid firing you the best characters to be using on these stages to give you ideas on what to use. We'll be looking over the buffs and what kind of team ideas at the end where you take what buff. Similar to the other guides, once again this video is going to be super fast paced, so buckle in. Before I get into the video, if you guys find the video helpful, make sure to drop a like, it'd be greatly appreciated, and be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon if you haven't done so already. And yep, let's get into the video. So let's first take a look at what the actual main thing is. So when enemy unit with steadfast safeguard is weakness broken, action advances all allies and recovers skill points, increases weakness break damage taken by all enemies by 20%, and increases follow-up attack damage taken by enemies by 20%. So nothing too new there. And if we now take a look at the first half buffs, we do have the first one, which is increases all enemies break damage taken by 10%. After breaking enemies weakness, increases all allies speed by 20% for 2 turns. Second one is before enemy units with steadfast safeguard are weakness broken, tally up the amount of dot they receive. When a unit is weakness broken, deals additional damage equal to 200% of the tallied dot. And the last one, increases quantum damage by all allies by 60%. After defeating an enemy target, advances the attacker's action by 15%. And as for the second half, first one, when using skill or ultimate on one allied target, increases the ability target's attack by 25% for 2 turns, stacking up to 2 times. Next one is increases ultimate damage dealt by all allies to weakness broken enemies by 70%. And the last one increases basic attack and skill damage by all allies by 55%. Now first taking a look at the DPSs that are going to be good in either half. First one is going to be Acheron, as both sides can benefit her in some way and they are both innate weak to lightning. So Acheron's going to be fantastic with their insane damage output. She's able to gain stacks by other allies inflicting debuffs, so the debuffs you inflict to make enemies take more damage or even lower their toughness by a bit. Weakness break is going to give her a stack, and her ultimate does lower toughness regardless of type. And instead also does insane damage. There's cases where you can literally kill the second half without even weakness breaking the full top bar, which I've done so myself. So her insane damage plus the fact that she can reduce all toughness types. So in the Cocolia, the pillars on the side, you're going to be able to lower the toughness and help other allies break them. You're going to be able to do insane damage by themselves, and anything with lightning weakness will take even more. Overall, fantastic unit, going to be great on either sides. If you have Sunday, again I specify, if you have Sunday, Jing1 is going to be really good on either side as you do take, since Lightning Lord does have practically the highest toughness lowering ability in the game. All playstyle is going to be able to gain as many stacks as possible. You have Sunday action forward Jing1, and then Lightning Lord is going to go after Jing1 gets to attack, and then Lightning Lord does a lot of damage in itself and also lowers the toughness by a ton. You're going to need to know you're going to need to take other people to take care of other weaknesses that they might not have. He's better on the second half, but can still be really good on the first half. You just need to make sure you take some other allies. That can help lower the ones that are not the lightning weakness pillars. But overall, if you have Sunday and you're able to get around that, he's going to be fantastic on either option. And then no shocker, Firefly is also going to be insanely good, as Apocalyptic Shadow is Break City. She's able to implant fire weakness. Top half already has fire weakness, so you're already able to go insane, and then on the bottom half she can just implant the fire weakness and go insane there anyways. Blast is not full AoE, unfortunately. When you do go into complete combustion, it's not going to be a full AoE, but you still have the blast, which is going to be able to do enough. Really easy weakness break, gaining a bunch of speed in the ultimate, going able to act a bunch of times, her team being relatively free to play friendly. It's really easy just to use her best team because it's again really free to play friendly, and will do good on either side you do take her on. Now, for the DPSs on the first half, Feixiao is going to be insane, as they do have fire weakness, and she's able to generate a lot of attacks, and on top of that, her ultimate can ignore the weakness type, so you are able to actually use her ultimate and lower the weakness type of one of the pillars that are not wind weak. So you can have allies destroy one pillar, you can have Feixiao destroy the wind pillar, and then let's say you attack the one with quantum or lightning, if that's the ones you didn't choose to. So let's say there's a fire pillar, you break that with topaz. The wind pillar, you break that with Feixiao herself, and then you can use her ultimate to break one of the other ones. So, thanks to that, thanks to her insane ult output, and just general output and getting a bunch of attacks and being able to be charged really fast for her ultimate, Feixiao, especially in the first half, is going to be really good. Zayla is also going to be insanely good on the first half, as they do have the quantum weakness and the quantum buff. Her being already able to gain a multitude of turns thanks to Resurgence, and now also being able to gain the extra action advance that the buff can give. Really good output, Resurgence plus the action forward plus the quantum buff, everything that's going to be benefiting her is going to be insanely good. She's going to be able to shred through the pillars herself even without the weakness, so you can break them by just doing damage. That's going to be really insane to do, so Zayla is going to be a fantastic option for the first side. Topaz is going to be really good, especially when you do pair her with the other follow-up units, so for the most part you'll be running her with someone like Feixiao, but there are times you can run her as a primary DPS, but she's still going to be the main debuffer as she does have the increase in follow-up damage taken. But as Numby is able to get a lot of attacks, lowering the weakness of the fire side of things is going to be really good, again, since Numby attacks a lot. So overall, you're going to be able to lower toughness really fast, making her a really good option as both the DPS, sub-DPS, or just pure debuffer. Himiko is also going to be fantastic as she is mainly break focused character now. But since she does have the thing where if you do inflict weakness break, she gets the victory rest and a pure AoE. Her skill is blast, but then her ultimate's AoE, her talent is AoE. Her main sources of damage are AoE, so you combine that with some break buffs and she's going to be able to shred through the fire weakness. You're just going to need to have another source to kind of take care of the pillars once again. But if you can get around that, she's going to be absolutely insane. Jade is going to be another fantastic option as it is benefiting follow-up attacks and it could also benefit quantum characters. So if you do a quantum setup or you do a follow-up setup, Jade is going to be really good on either types you kind of play as. And she's able to give you the buff of giving you a bunch of speed, being able to have the full AoE talent and ultimate, and then when you use the ultimate to buff the talent even more for the follow-up attack being increased, her potentially being able to gain a lot of attacks, especially paired with someone like Feixiao. She's going to be able to deal with the quantum side of things herself very easily, and also be able to get a lot of damage output as it does also favor follow-up attack characters, making Jade a fantastic option. And it's insane to say this, but Blade is also going to be really good, especially if you do something like a Jade Blade comp. A Jade Blade comp in the Cocolia half is going to be insane, as Cocolia does attack a lot, so if you can take someone like Lynx to make Blade get attacked a lot, or just have Blade there because the Cocolia boss will attack a lot overall, he's going to potentially be able to get charged. Him being with Jade lets him actually get supercharged as he's able to gain 2 stacks in one action now. Him having the full AoE from his follow-up attack, the blast, and then also his basic attack becoming blast as well. Everything he does is going to be really good here. Especially pairing him with an action forwarder, he's going to be a fantastic option you can use if you can get around the other parts that might not win weakness. And even if they don't, you can probably kill them without actually needing to weakness break. For the second half, Rappa is going to be absolutely insane for this half as it is mainly just the 5 same enemies on the field and you would have weakness break all of them. And how a lot of them do have the imaginary weakness, and for the ones that might not, you can just have the lowering regardless of type. Even if it might not be the greatest value, especially since some of them are already weak to imaginary, you're going to be able to do a lot, especially with the rest team and the super break stuff she can do. Once again, it's not even enemies resetting, it's always 5 on the field and always the 5 are going to be able to attack, so anything weakness broken, you're going to be able to constantly do super break and super break and super break and super break. She's going to absolutely shred through their HP bar, making her a fantastic option. Daning is also going to be really good as they are mainly weak to imaginary. Going to be a little bit more difficult to use because of skill points, but if you're able to get around that, you can be able to get these skill points off a lot, get the full enhanced basic attack, the ultimate's also blast, so the stuff you can do, and the imaginary toughness lowering is going to be really solid. And overall, his damage output can be really high with a well-built Daning, so he's going to be a great option overall. Plus, there is a basic attack buff, which can benefit him. Jinglu is also going to be good as she's able to eventually... Jinglu is also going to be really good because usually you pair her with someone that's an action forwarder, so she's going to be able to get a lot of turns. There's a skill buff as well, just like how there's a basic buff for Danhang. So her potentially being able to gain a bunch of turns if you are running an action advanced character, which for the most part you will. Going into the actual transform state, you have the blast skill, you have the blast ultimate, being able to be in the form for quite a while. Overall, very good option to use as well. For the debuffers, Jiaoqiu is a fantastic option. Either side you do take him on. Little better on the first half, but still fantastic on the second half. For debuffers, it's kind of like they might be better on one side, but you just take them according to your team. So with Jiaoqiu, if you're taking Acheron on the first half, you'll probably take him there. Acheron on the second half, you'll probably take him there. It really just depends on the half you're taking him on, but overall, thanks to the fact that he's able to do the vulnerability, he has the pure AoE ultimate, making enemies take more ultimate damage. Overall, going to be a fantastic option to use as a debuffer. The upcoming character Fugue is going to be fantastic for any break shenanigans you want to do or for break characters, as she's able to practically inflict her own endo toughness. As she's practically able to inflict her own version of toughness, which is the exo toughness. So helping you do some break shenanigans with the characters that are already good in the halves, or even helping existing characters, especially someone like Rappa. Pairing her with someone like a break character is going to let them absolutely shred, so taking her on the second half with Rappa is going to make that side absolutely trivial. So overall, Fugue is a fantastic debuffer you can take. Black Swan's also really good depending on the half you are doing. She's better in the first half. But again, if you're taking Acheron in the second half or something, she can be great in the second half. Again, debuffers, they're practically good on either half. She has the Blast, Defense Shred, she has the pure AoE ultimate, she has the Epiphany debuff. Overall, very fantastic character you can take as a debuff as well. Welt is also going to be really good, especially on the second half, as he's able to imprison the enemies with his ultimate. Able to do some pretty good damage himself, and if you're running a break shenanigans, then he can actually become a DPS. But overall, as a debuffer, he's going to be fantastic because the imprisonment will make enemies go less. With enemies going less will mean you'll have more action value. And I say second half since they're more weak to imaginary there, and in the first half they really aren't, but you can still take him on the first half. But overall, he'll perform better on the second half, making him a fantastic option. Wind Knife is also good thanks to her general debuffs, and again, fire weakness on mainly the first half is going to be great. Having an AoE ultimate, blast skill, and then also once again having the general vulnerability you can take. Overall going to be really good for a general debuffer and also being able to lower the fire side of weakness. Payload is fantastic as you are going to be getting a big 40% decrease to the enemy's defense using the ultimate. And especially if you're taking it in the first half, when you do use the skill or if you use the ultimate, you're able to lower the actual ice weakness. And especially if you're taking her in the second half, you have the full AoE defense ignore, so she's going to be lowering all of them, especially pairing her with someone like Acheron. That's going to be absolutely insane for damage. And as they are weak to ice on that half, you're going to be able to target the actual ice weakness ones with the skill. Then you're going to also be able to use the ultimate, which will lower them, making her an overall great option. For the Harmony buffers, no shocker, Robin is going to be one of the two best ones you can do, as she gives you a big 50% increase of damage down from her skill. Going into ultimate gives everyone another turn, so that's going to let you gain even more attacks, helping you lower toughness faster, giving everyone a massive increase to attack percent, and also giving you additional physical damage dealt, giving everyone crit damage. And if you're pairing her up on a follow-up attack team, which for the most part you will, but even she is insane without being on a follow-up attack team, but on a follow-up attack team, she increases the crit damage dealt by follow-up attacks by 25%. Overall, going to just be a fantastic Harmony buffer you can take on this mode, or just in the game, I'm not gonna lie. And then the other broken Harmony buffer is going to be Ruan Mei, as she's going to be fantastic for something like this, as she gives you a great weakness break efficiency by 50%, giving you damage dealt, which gets further amplified thanks to her bonus Trace Spray here, giving you speed, giving you the weakness break extension, giving you all-time res pen, especially in a mode where you want to break as fast as possible. Ruan Mei is going to be absolutely insane, making her a fantastic option. Harmony Trailblazer is going to be fantastic for any half you are doing, if they are on the break side, since if you're running a break team, so Firefly for super break, Rappa super break, or if you're doing some shenanigans like super break Welt, that's where Harmony Trailblazer is going to shine, as it will actually enable the super break you can do. The ultimate gives break effect, very easy to have uptime on it. Harmony Trailblazer is a fantastic and will be the main option if you are doing a super break team. Now overall, the new character Sunday is going to be the best action forwarded character you can take on these teams, as he gives you a really nice damage dealt increase, and if you're taking him with Jingwan especially, that gets an additional 50%. He's going to make Jingwan really good, gives you energy, gives you crit damage based off his own, gives you 20% crit rate. Everything he provides for a crit DPS is just going to be insane, especially since with this, anytime they're below 40 energy, it will just immediately take them to 40 instead. More uptime on most of the character's ultimates will help you get more output. More output means more damage and more weakness lowering. So overall, Sunday is going to be the best option you can do for anyone that wants an action-advanced character. And I'm just going to group these together, but Sunday and Bronya practically for the same reasons. Sparkle gets the crit damage increase that's higher than Bronya's, but Bronya's is actually team-wide and also gives the attack. Overall, practically the same role as Sunday, but Sunday does the job a little better on most teams. But if you're running something like Donhang, then you definitely want to take someone like Sparkle since of the amount of skill point usages. But if you're taking someone like Blade, then Bronya can be better because of the less skill point usage and the more damage dealt. And since for the most part, often the crit damage can get diluted from Sparkle since you gain so much, sometimes it's better to just take someone like Bronya who gives you less but still gives you the attack percent and more damage dealt instead. Overall, these two are fantastic options depending on the team you are running. For the sustains, obviously one of the best ones is going to be Aventurine, especially on a follow-up attack team, but just anywhere, as he does practically make it to where you do not have to worry about dying. His ultimate also giving you a 15% crit damage dealt increase debuff that you can use for any crit DPS. Once again, his shield being immortal and him also having a follow-up attack that can help you lower toughness on the imaginary side of things, so mainly the second half. Overall, fantastic option you can use as a sustain and practically the best one. The other best one is going to be Lingsha, especially on the break side of teams, but again, practically anywhere, as she gives you a bunch of healing, as Fuyuan's going to be able to gain a good amount of action, especially when you do use the ultimate. And with the ultimate, the Befog debuff making enemies take 25% increased break damage is going to be really good. Good on either side you do take her on, so whether you take her on the first half, she's going to be able to deal with the pillar weaknesses or just helping with portfolio lowering. Second side, she's also going to be helping as she does keep you alive for a while. The break damage increase, so any break team is going to benefit from this a ton. So overall, Lingsha is the other best option. Gallagher is also fantastic as he also does have the break damage debuff from the Masada state inflicted by his ultimate. He's also going to be able to gain a lot of turns since you usually build them fast, just like Feixiao, making enemies with Masada take more break damage, so break teammates is going to be really good. He also does have offensive healing, so attacking to gain healing back is going to be really nice since you're going to be attacking a lot on Apocalyptic Shadow and making him a fantastic option. And I'm not really going to highlight all these too much. These are like your generic ones. I don't really got to talk about them too much. So Whoa is really good, especially since he gives you the energy and also gives you the attack percent increase by a ton. Also really good healing and cleanse. Luocha practically makes it to where you don't have to worry about dying either since he heals you insanely well. And also has offensive healing that's even better than Gallagher's. The only issue is he doesn't have any debuffs or buffs. And then Fushuan's also great as she does give you max HP and also gives you crit rate that can help you, and then also can kind of become immortal, especially in this build where you don't have to worry about a super big AoE. Overall, these three are fantastic other options, but they aren't better than running Gallagher, Linkshot, or especially Aventurine. Now taking a look at what buffs you would take on what teams. So the first one, obviously any break related character, you definitely would take this, or even someone like Feixiao, I definitely recommend this. So any speedy character or any break related character will take the first one on the first half. Second one is if you're doing any form of dot. I personally do not recommend doing dot. You still can, but they're definitely not going to be able to be better than the ones that I mentioned in this video. But if you are taking dot, then you take the second one. And the last one is if you're taking a Jade focused team or especially a Zele focused team. As for the second half, you take the first one if you are running someone like Sparkle, Bronia, or Sunday especially, since they're going to be able to stack it up as you are using an ability on the ally target to give them an increase to attack. So if you want the actual up to 50% attack you can actually get an increase of, then you take this. If you want more ultimate damage done by allies on the weakness broken enemies by 70%, then you would take this. Usually characters more focus on the ultimate side of damage or the weakness broken ultimate side of damage. Or also if you are doing some super break shenanigans, which like again, super break well, ultimate super break is going to be really nice. And then the last one is practically the only time to take it is if you're running Danheng IL or if you're taking Jinglu, because basic attack damage goes to Danheng and then skill damage goes to Jinglu. And yep, that is the video. That is the best characters for this thing. Again, I know it's really fast, but I already clarified it and I've done this in the past. But I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you guys are running some specific things that are not mentioned in this video or just some specific setups, make sure to comment down below so you give other people even more ideas to what to run. Yep, that's all. Again, hope you found the video helpful. Peace out.